Okay, we'll start from start. Okay, Hariom everyone. We'll start with endocrine and metabolic disorders today. In this, we'll study diabetes mellitus. So, before studying diabetes mellitus, we'll understand this pancreas. So, pancreas is nothing but a elongated shape like a chili shape like this. Oh, sorry for this such diagram. Okay, but this soft, lobulated, elongated gland with both endocrine and exocrine actions. What are the endocrine and exocrine actions? Who will tell me? You all have studied anatomy and physiology, na? Fast, fast. Who will tell? The diagram is like. Who will tell? My voice is audible. Hari Om.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
So no one is speaking. So, and you people don't know what is endocrine and exocrine. I will make you understand. Otherwise, it's okay if you understand. So, what are the and I will tell you. Okay, what is endocrine? And the word itself means endo. Endo
Ma'am,
means
you want the difference between endocrine and exocrine and what pancreas secretes?
yes. What is endocrine and exocrine? You normally just want this two.
Endocrine is secretion which is directly into the blood. It's a hormone that's secreted directly into the blood.
Yes. Okay.
And
And
exocrine are not directly secreted into the blood, they go through a duct.
yes, so this is exocrine, this diagram, and this one is endocrine, the hormone which is directly going into the blood, and this one through the duct.
And the secretion of exocrine are called as enzymes.
Okay, yes, because these are chemicals. So, in pancreas also, like that. In pancreas also, there are pancreas is some gland which have both the functions, exocrine as well as endocrine. So, endocrine functions in endocrine secretions, it gives directly into the blood, that is insulin and glucagon, and exocrine is your pancreatic juices because it goes through pancreatic duct. If you have studied in the anatomy physiology, it goes through pancreatic duct. So our concern is only endocrine part, but still to make you understand a little, I told you. So length of pancreas is not required at all. We'll see now what are the hormones which are secreted by pancreas. So what happens in pancreas? In pancreas there are like small structures which are called as islets of Langerhans. Okay, these islets of Langerhans have different cells inside the. I'll show you. Okay, so these islets of Langerhans further have some cells inside this. These cells are alpha, beta, delta, and okay, these cells. So they are main four hormones, but again we have to concern about insulin as well as glucagon for us. But still to know there are two more hormones they release, that is ghrelin and somatostatin. So ghrelin is hormone which is responsible for, if you people know, for hunger. Okay, and this somatostatin is something which is related.
Ma'am, the ghrelin we were not taught. So we were taught about insulin, glucagon, and somatostatin.
So what is somatostatin?
Somatostatin is the hormone that gets secreted from the delta cells. It inhibits the release of the growth hormone. That's what we
Yes,
learned.
very good. It is a growth hormone. It inhibits the growth. Okay, so for your information, I'm telling like ghrelin is responsible for that, and insulin for the glucose and glucagon to these two will study in the very deep in further slides. Okay, so for just example to see show you in this diagram, you can see as this, like this is pancreas have these cells, though in this ghrelin is not shown, still ghrelin is also produced. Okay, fourth hormone I can say here. I'm right. So blue one is alpha cells. Alpha cells are producing your glucagon. Okay, then yellow one is insulin. Sorry, beta cells. Beta cells produce insulin, and this is delta cells. Delta cells produce somatostatin. The two most important things you have to understand or learn it, that alpha cells produce your glucagon and beta cells produce your insulin. Okay, these two things we need to understand more. Okay, further we'll go for glucagon. Though our disease is diabetes mellitus, but to understand that we have to go through all this. Okay, so what is glucagon? As I told you, two hormones. Now we are talking about only two. Okay, two hormones which are released from pancreas, alpha cells of pancreas, Langer's of islets of Langerhans have these cells. So these alpha and beta cells produces hormones, insulin and glucagon. So glucagon, from which cells glucagon is produced?
Alpha.
Yes, very good. From alpha cells, these are produced. So the main function of glucagon and insulin. In a short, I will make you understand here, but everything is written in the other further slides also. Okay, but still I will make you understand. So what happens? These are released from the this insulin. So what is insulin? Insulin. This is our liver. Please adjust diagrams. Huh? This is glucagon. One thing, one work of the glucagon is in you all know that glucose is gets stored in the storehouse of the glucose is liver itself. Liver stores the glucose. We eat the glucose, whatever is required by our body. Our body uses it. But what which is not for the sake of that particular time, which is not required, it will get that particular part of the glucose will be get stored in the body. Where? In liver. Okay, in liver the glucose gets stored. So what in the form of who will tell in the form of
Glycogen.
yes,
Glycogen.
very good,
Glycogen.
in the form of glycogen. So when this glycogen, when our body requires, like our body requires glucose, there is less glucose in the body. Okay, low amount of or low level of glucose is there in the body. For just to understand, we are understanding, if there is low amount of glucose in the body due to some reason, our body requires glucose, and we are not eating something, whether this thing we are on the fasting. So our this your glucagon, which is produced from pancreas. Which cells of pancreas?
Alpha.
Cells, yes, alpha cells. You have to learn that, na? Alpha cells of pancreas, it is released. Our glucagon will go to liver and ask liver to give that glycogen form of glucose and take it to the back to the bloodstreams to provide you with the glucose or energy. Okay, at the time as it is stored in the form of glycogen, glucagon, again I am repeating, glucagon will go to liver and take this glycogen, break it down into the glucose, back bring it back to the blood streams. Then this glucose will be used as energy to further formation of ATP and okay. Understand this thing? In simple
Yes,
words, I
yes.
just make you understand now. Now you can go through the word lines also. This is all the same, everything. Okay. When blood glucose level falls too low, as I told you, so low blood glucose, we can say the pancreas pumps out the glycogen. Of course, when less glucose level in the this blood streams, the pancreas will release glucagon normally keeps your blood glucose from dropping low down. That means that glucose, this line means that glucagon increases your blood sugar level or blood glucose level. Okay, glucagon helps to increase your blood sugar level. Okay, because when the blood sugar level goes or drop down too much, then it increases it. Therefore its work is to increase the blood glucose level. And during the fasting also, that I wrote here also, during fasting also it helps to provide the energy, because whilst fasting we are not taking food from outside. We are not taking food from outside. So what happens? Energy is not provided by the carbohydrate from outside. We are not taking any external energy. At that time the energy is required for the body still for all the functioning. The glucagon will go to the liver, take the glycogen from the this liver, which is the stored form of glucose, take it and break down it to bring glucose back to the bloodstreams. Okay, so like that, glucagon, and this hormones helps the blood glucose to rise back up multiple ways. In different ways it increases the blood glucose level. How? In two ways are, it will, that same thing I told you, causes the liver to convert stored glucose into the usable form. Whatever is stored, that is stored is form is called as glycogen, to make it usable form, that is to glucose, and will bring back to the bloodstreams. Process is called as glycogenolysis. Okay. This conversion of glycogen into the glucose is called as glycogenolysis. Glucagon also stops the and the another method. First method is it do like that. Another way, glycogen also stops the liver from taking in and storing glucose. Now, normally also if we are taking food from outside and still the glucose level is less in our bloodstreams, the glucagon will do what it will do. It will stops the liver to take glucose for storage. Okay, same thing. So it more stays in the blood. Of course, if the glucose will be not taken by the liver for storage, it will be used by the bloodstreams. So these are the two, many multiple ways also, but I wrote here two only, two ways through which the mm, glucagon helps to use glucose for the bloodstreams. In diagram itself also you can understand this same thing in very like two, three times repeated because of the this. So in diagram what is happening? This is liver, this is pancreas. Okay, two organs. Now this pancreas gland, then now glucagon released from the pancreas. Okay, so it will go to liver. From the liver it will take these box shape are the glucose. These box shape structures are the glucose. It will take glucose which is stored in the form of glycogen inside the liver. It will take this glycogen and break down to form the glucose. This glucose will go into bloodstream. This red color one is bloodstreams. Okay, and these cells also are there. These are normal cells. This is bloodstreams. The main function of glucagon is this. And hope so that this is very much clear to you all. Glucagon.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Others.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So next we'll go for insulin. What is insulin? Insulin is nothing. I will make you understand first. You can see in the diagram. It will become very easy. So again, this is pancreas. Insulin will be released from the pancreas. This insulin, this is our blue color is this cell. Okay, this is cell. So insulin will be released from the pancreas. It will go to the cell. Insulin, this is like it is not visible, but it will be insulin receptors on the cells. All the cells have insulin receptors on them. Okay, this pink color is insulin receptors. I'll show you with diagram here also. Receptors are something which is like made like this, not exact structure, have different structures. The other insulin will come to it and will bind with this receptor. Okay, insulin will come and bind with this receptor. So what will happen in turn of it? There are glucose channels also there inside the cells. Okay, through which the glucose will enter into the cell. Then cell will work because glucose is the main source of energy. So this glucose channel is also now normal condition. This in normal condition they just show you that this is insulin receptor, this is glucose channel which is closed for a while. Now this is glucose which will be traveling in blood streams. Now we'll come to the condition. Sorry. Okay, so what happened in this? As the insulin come to your this receptor, it will bind to it. As it is binding, insulin unlocks the channel for the glucose. Okay, now what it will happen? As it will get bind to this, the opposite side channel will get opened. Okay, this channel of glucose had opened. Now glucose from the blood streams will enter to this cell. Okay, here actually now it is not required for you. Still, I am telling that there are the receptors which are called as GLUT4. Glucose 4 name it is named as. GLUT4 receptors are there, which are the main reason for which needing glucose inside the cells. Okay, taking glucose inside the cells. So glucose channels are now open. Glucose entering into the cell, further leading for the all further activities of the cells. Okay. Okay, this is the normal condition. This happens usually. So this is only written in the words now. When everything is working well, insulin moves glucose out of the body, blood and into the cells. Okay, when everything is normal, in a normal condition, it is said that insulin will take glucose to the cells. This is the something. Okay, meanwhile, the complex feedback system. Okay, when it is fulfilled, that like all the cells completely get their like glucose and all, then further it will go for the storage also. Insulin keeps the glucose level from rising up to high. This line means insulin helps to decrease the blood glucose level in the blood streams. So much glucose is there. Okay, if so much glucose is there, as this from these blood streams, insulin will take blood to the cells. Of course, definitely the level of glucose will be normalized or balanced in the blood vessels. Okay, blood streams. So insulin is something which, if there is too much uh, glucose level in the blood streams, the insulin will decrease that. Okay, help to decrease that. So in one word you can understand, like this glucagon. Glucagon is something which helps to increase glucose, and your insulin is something which your decrease glucose level. Okay, in one word you can understand like that. Okay, and these two hormones are something which counterbalance everything, because when it is required they can bring from the liver, when it is not required they can give it to the cells. Okay, this is how they both are making or maintaining the homeostasis of this sugar levels. Now we'll come for the exact problem for which we are taking this class, diabetes mellitus. Now it will become very easy for you all to understand. So diabetes, the diabetes word comes from diabetes mellitus. Diabetes, that means fountain, and mellitus, which means sweet. So what? Fountain of sweets. Therefore we used to call it as sugar. Person is having sugar. Okay, very bad fountain. Sorry, I'm rubbing. Okay. So, what? It is it is a metabolic disease characterized by high blood sugar level. Okay, sugar level is high. Okay, characterized by high blood sugar level, which results from the defect in the insulin secretion or functions, or both. Which means that this diabetes. What is diabetes mellitus? We used to say the person is having diabetes mellitus. In normal language, we also say the person is having sugar. Okay, what means? That means that sugar level is increased. If in all the conditions of diabetes mellitus, sugar level is increasing, that means glucose is form of sugar only, na? Glucose level is increased. Okay, so diabetes occurs when the pancreas does not produces enough insulin, or when the body does not use insulin properly, called as insulin resistance. This is the main definition. We'll understand how this happens in this how many ways. Okay, so two things you have to make a note, that what are the two reasons due to which the diabetes mellitus could happen. What are these two? And if either our pancreas are unable to produce insulin due to some, what which cells produces this pancreas, who will tell? Beta cells. Yes, one second. So due to the destruction in the beta cells, or if our beta cells will destroy, what will it result? It will result that insulin will not be produced, because insulin is produced by beta cells only. So either the condition could be that pancreas are not producing enough insulin. Okay, or another reason for diabetes mellitus could be that insulin is produced, but body is unable to use that insulin, okay, in the proper way. uh, this will study further, but the main two reasons are this only. Okay, now these are just points for the normal blood glucose level, what it should be and how it will be like vary in problems. Fasting blood sugar level, when this, because the identification of this sugar levels will be done in these three ways only, that is fasting. And during fasting they used to check our blood sugar levels. It should be normal one is 100 to 125. One second. 100 to 125, then postprandial blood sugar level. Postprandial is nothing but after, just after taking the food, we used to take their blood sugars. Okay, so just after food means like 2 hours after the food or just after the food. Okay, because at that time the the glucose level is will be at the peak. Okay, at the peak, because just they have taken the food, so it will definitely going to be at the peak. Now, random blood sugar level at any time, randomly just we are taking their blood sugar level. When we have these three information, while time of the fasting, while time of just after food, while time of any time. Okay, so these two all together, they further analyze that whether the person having real sugar or not. Okay, so this one your now risk factors. Further, we'll go for classification also. That classification will prove your these two things. Where is pen? These two things. Okay. In classification, we'll see. Now, up till this, your everything is clear to all.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. It's this MGDL is milligram per deciliter. Okay, milligram per deciliter. So risk factors. Now, risk factors are also modified. Modifiable means which we can modify or make changes in it, and some are non-modifiable. Modifiable. Okay. So obesity. Obesity is one of the reason for the diabetes mellitus further. Many things. Okay. Lack of the physical exercise, again stress. Stress have the same main cause. Then further diet. Diet is the again your sedentary lifestyle. One second, just wait for. Okay, now high blood pressure, if there is high BP, and habits like smoking, alcohol, and this is normal, common. And non-modifiable, that we can't make the changes because it is from the genetic factors, by birth also, family history, or some age factors in the older age would happen. So these are not under our controls. Now pre-diabetic. What is pre-diabetes? By name itself we can understand it is something which is a little before diabetes. So this is diabetic condition. So before diabetic, or the condition which is in between normal and diabetes, exact diabetes, called as pre-diabetes. Okay, condition where blood sugar is high from the normal, but high enough to be called as diabetic. We can't call it as a diabetic, but still from normal it is a little high, like 160 to 200. Now main, again main. Okay, first we studied what exactly diabetes, that is main, and to understand that all the hormones we understood. Now classification is type 1 diabetes mellitus, type 2, and gestational diabetes is also there. Type 1 diabetes mellitus, understand now. So it is also called as insulin. What exactly happens in this, I will tell you. So as I told you, there are two reasons for the diabetes to be caused. What are those two reasons? Who will tell? One reason, one person. Second reason, other person.
One is when the body does not produce enough insulin.
Body, pancreas. Yes.
Pancreas, I mean pancreas. Yes,
And
pancreas does
someone
not
else
produce.
now. Other one. Other someone else. Please tell.
Yes, ma'am. The other one is when the body is unable to use the insulin properly.
Yes, very good. Okay, so understood. Huh? So in diabetes one, what happening when this is the condition, because I make you understand everything before only. So no need to study more here. Okay, what happening? The condition in which insulin is not produced properly. Okay, so pancreas are not releasing insulin because of the destruction in the beta cells. Beta cells is destroyed, therefore the insulin is not produced. So glucose, so what is the condition happening, that glucose is there in the body because we are eating the food, the glucose will be there in the bloodstreams, but these glucose are unable to travel to this cells. Okay, this is cell. This structure is cell. This is the duct that I told you. There are the receptors. Insulin receptors are there. So as insulin is not released, glucose is there in the bloodstreams. Insulin is not releasing because of the absence of insulin. This glucose will not go to cells. Okay, though lots of insulin and though lots of glucose in these bloodstreams, still our cells are starving for the glucose. Exactly, our cells are starving for the glucose, though we have lots of glucose in the bloodstreams. Why? Because reason is that because insulin is not there. If insulin is not there, then who will take this glucose to the this one our cells? As the mother is not at the home, who will take you to the market? Like that, in if child is small, who will take you to the market? So this is the condition. So mother insulin is not there, therefore it is not going to the cells, though we have lots of insulin in the body, glucose in the body. Okay, hopefully very easily you have understood this. Understood? Please reply.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. So with now we'll see same things written here, but as I told you. So previously this diabetes 1, okay, type 1 diabetes is also please someone mute your, okay. I don't know who is unmuted. So it is before, it is called as insulin dependent diabetes mellitus. Why it is called as IDDM before? Okay, not now. Now it is called as juvenile diabetes. Okay, so why it is called as insulin dependent? Because everything is depending on insulin. If insulin will come properly, it will go to the this diabetes will not happen. Okay, because as I told, what is diabetes? Diabetes is fountain of the sweets, or fountain of the glucose, you can say. So in diabetes, the glucose level is increased on all the conditions. Sugar or glucose level is increasing. So though whatever is the condition, finally what is happening? Glucose level in our bloodstreams is high, because glucose is not able to travel to the cells. So glucose level is high in the streams. Therefore this condition itself, when high glucose level in this bloodstream, is called as diabetes. So that person is having diabetes. So it is called as insulin dependent diabetes, because everything is dependent on insulin. If insulin is produced, normal. If insulin is not producing, diabetes mellitus. So therefore, and nowadays it is called as juvenile diabetes. This is written in the words what I have told you yet now. Now, since childhood, due to non-production or little production of insulin in the body. So why it happens? Type 1 diabetes could happen if from the childhood, by the birth it could happen, because if the mother will have, that I will tell you in further that what diabetes it is called. Then further the child could also have chances, the child could also have by birth also. If we have this condition is called as this by birth, when the person have diabetes, this is type 1 diabetes. Okay, from by birth, either their insulin is not produced, or after that there is less production of insulin is there. These two conditions can form type 1 diabetes. Okay, type 1 diabetes is a T cell, because this diabetes is autoimmune disease. Why autoimmune disease? Again, our immune system is very weak. Our immune system is unable to recognize right cells or right things, and is destroying our own cells. So our this beta cells are, therefore it is destroyed. Okay, so again I told you that it is T cell. T cell is nothing but it is immune cells. Okay, one of the immune cells. T cells mediated autoimmune disease, in which destruction of the pancreatic beta cells is there. As I told you, na, immune system is weak, it can destroy anything which is our friend also, it can destroy that also. Okay, so pancreatic beta cells are destroying by this autoimmune process. Okay, so which cause insulin deficiency. Of course, if beta cells is not produced, no insulin is there, insulin deficiency will be there. This condition where there is less insulin, which is leading to high level of glucose in the bloodstreams, is called as, therefore it is written na, less insulin deficiency, which leads to hyperglycemia. Okay, what is hyperglycemia? Write in your notes. Okay, whosoever is listening this class properly will able to, not only everything will be, you can study from the notes. Okay, because further you will understand. In hyperglycemia, what is hyperglycemia? The condition when there is high level of this one, your glucose in the bloodstream. This condition is called as hyperglycemia, high level of glucose in bloodstreams, which further leads to diabetes mellitus. Okay, understand this slide, type 1 diabetes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
How many of you are in the class?
So
Okay. Now next, age of the occurrence is 2 to 5 years in small. I as told you that small children have juvenile words itself is something related with the young. Okay, small or near the puberty. And now 5 to 10% of the total diabetes problem. It is necessary to take insulin when you have type 1 diabetes. Therefore, the people used to give insulin from outside. No, insulin from outside. That is the condition in the type 1 diabetes. Okay, you so that what is the work of insulin? Who will tell? Yes, tell.
ma'am, it reaches the cell and the receptor of the cell, it gets attached to the receptor of the cell, after which the cell accepts glucose.
Yes, okay. And balances the glucose level in the bloodstreams. So your body doesn't produces the hormone insulin, and without that, your body can't properly get the energy and fuel it needs from glucose. Okay, this is normal. Whatever we tell, okay, everything written in the words. So some people have type 1 diabetes. What is type 1 diabetes? This means their pancreas doesn't produce insulin. It is. Okay. Now, pathophysiology, nothing but what are the main cause. We are not seeing whole pathophysiology, which thing is affecting which immune system. Nothing. Normal is genetic susceptibility. I told you genetic it could be happen, and autoimmune factors. As I told that our immune system is wrongly understanding everything and destroying our own cells. Okay, everything written in the words what I'm saying. So now we'll move towards type 2 diabetes mellitus. Previously, before this is now also called as non-insulin dependent diabetes mellitus.
One was genetic susceptibility, and the other one was what?
Autoimmune factors. I told you the T cells autoimmune because T cells are something. Sorry, it is related with immune system, cells of immune system. So it is related with that. You have understood in anatomy and physiology. That is a big thing. So type 2 diabetes mellitus we'll see. Now it is also previously called as non-NIDDM, non-insulin dependent. Why non-insulin dependent? Because nothing to related with insulin in this one. That one insulin dependent completely. So it usually occurs in adulthood. In as I told, that is from childhood, and this is from adulthood. है ना? Common from form of diabetes. What happens in this exactly? I will make you understand. So write by yourself. It is not written in the words. I'll tell you before only. Okay. That's why I told you that everything I can't write. Since morning I make the slides at till night. Then can make you study these. Okay. So therefore you understand. In diagram itself, I can make you understand very wisely. So type 2 diabetes is something what happening in this other condition. This same diagram we can understand. Type 2 diabetes is here. Okay. My pen is visible. I should rub.
It's better if you rub it.
Yes. Okay. So in type 2 diabetes, insulin is so high. Okay. Insulin is normally produced from the pancreatic cells. Okay. Pancreatic cells are normally producing insulin. Okay. This one, insulin. But what is happening? Our body cells are not able to take this insulin. These are the cells. So cells do not accept the insulin. Why? There is some problem at the entrance, or this one are uh, uh, this receptor, GLUT4 receptors maybe get destroyed or something. Our receptors are not accepting it, or they are again maybe wrongly understanding it as a, because it is also autoimmune, na? So they are wrongly understanding it is not for us or everything, anything like that. So receptors here, the cell is there, receptors are inactive for that. Okay, the problem with the cells, though lot of the glucose in the body, we are eating food, lot of glucose in the body, insulin is also enough. Okay, so insulin is taking glucose to cells, but cells receptors are not accepting it, because problem at the level of cells. There the problem at the level of release of insulin is not there, pancreas. Okay, here the cells receptors are not like accepting glucose from insulin. So now, though again glucose is we have lots of glucose in the body, still our cells are starving for the glucose, as it is not accepting it due to some reason. Okay, understand this one also. Hopefully I'll make you show here also. So what is happening? Stomach convert food from the glucose. Okay, this is normal. Okay, I will come to this. Glucose enters the bloodstreams. Okay, glucose in the bloodstream, then glucose enables to enter the blood efficiently. So what is happening? Glucose is though lots of insulin is also there. Pancreas is there. Insulin produced, but in it, our cells are not accepting it. Okay, so glucose level increase, pancreas produce insulin, but the body cannot use it efficiently, because body cells are not accepting it. Again, though lots of glucose in the body, still cells are starving. Okay, and as the condition is this, that glucose level is increasing in bloodstreams, this condition, this situation is called as diabetes mellitus. Okay, this kind of diabetes mellitus is called type 2 diabetes mellitus. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Pathophysiology, nothing but insulin resistance. What is insulin resistance? This thing that our cells are not accepting these like mm, this glucose with insulin. They're not accepting the insulins. Okay, insulin receptors are not binding insulin with them due to some reason. This condition, because they are resisting insulin to come to them, this condition is called as insulin resistance. Okay, so in the diagram you can see what insulin resistance is. See, condition in which the body cannot use the insulin efficiently, though insulin is there. So cells, blood vessels are there. Normal pancreas will produce insulin, but what happening? Cells do not respond efficiently. Cells are not efficiently responding. Blood vessels, due to which again cells can't receive it. Understood? I hope you understand. Then now gestational diabetes. What it means? It is something which is related to gynecology. G word. It is there. You can learn like that, something which is related to pregnancy. Okay, while pregnancy, if we can see, or first time, or firstly we have recognized that the person having high glucose level, that is called as a gestational diabetes. That means normally person is not having, the lady is not having diabetes, but while at the time of pregnancy, if she have, it could be it is called as gestational diabetes. Okay, not if the if normally female is having diabetes mellitus while pregnancy, although she will definitely going to have diabetes mellitus, that diabetes will not called as gestational. But if the normal lady having diabetes at the time of pregnancy is called as gestational diabetes. It is written in the words, gestational diabetes mellitus is the glucose intolerance of variable degree with onset of the first recognition during the presence of pregnancy. 7% of the total pregnancy is the gestational. It is more chances. If the female have, then child will definitely, not definitely, would have chances to have diabetes. Okay, sevenfold increase. Therefore, it is written sevenfold. It increase the risk of developing diabetes mellitus. Later, it is like something missing. Okay, to the child. Okay, to the child. This means that
Later in their
this will,
lifeline, I
like
think it's not
it could
to the
remain.
child,
It could
but
remain.
later in their own life.
Yes, they're on life. Yes, I'm saying they're on the life, but it is also possible, not exactly that the girl will have diabetes. If at the time of the pregnancy she have diabetes, it could happen that it could be cured. Okay, it could be cured, but can be also equal, because it happens then the time of the pregnancy they have different lifestyles. Afterward they can maintain their lifestyle, they can continue the practice of like exercise and asanas, pranayam, yoga asanas, or physical activities normal they can go for. So they can get rid of that.
What is the 7% of total pregnancy mean?
Seven folds of increased risk. Matlab, it is
No, no, no. The one above. 7% of total
total pregnancy, all the pregnant out of all the pregnancy, 7% of women get this gestational diabetes during the pregnancy. It is
pregnancy.
now symptoms. So these are because diabetes mellitus is very important for all the purposes, all the exams. Okay, because lots of things in this, है ना? So do like that only. Okay, so the main symptoms are polyphagia, polydipsia, polyuria. What is polyphagia? Something phagia word, this pha, this word is something which is poly is excess, everything poly is excess. Phagia is something which is related to eating food, hunger. Okay, dipsia word is related with thirst or drinking something. Okay, you can learn with this ph, you can learn hunger, because this these three terms comes in the like exams also. Okay, net JRF exams also it could come. So dipsia with D, you can understand drinking. So this is something which is related with drinking. To make you understand, this is a trick. Okay. So thirst, it is excess thirst, excess hunger. The person feels excess thirst, and urea, you know that urination. So something which is excess urination. Okay. So these are the main three symptoms. As I told you, this here also it is three P's for diabetes. Okay, very common in all the exams. It usually comes if therapeutic is there. Okay, urea, urination excess and increase appetite, increase hunger, polyphagia and polydipsia, increase thirst. Then again, normal further simple fun, symptoms, fatigue, blood vision. I will show you it comes in complications also, blood vision, then reduced body weight. Okay, these are the main three symptoms. Further, we'll go for complications. Okay, so complications, I'll make you understand what happens exactly. So in this is macrovascular. So first is diabetic retinopathy. The word retino is something which is related to retina. Okay, so as you can see, these are the complications of this is diabetic retinopathy. This part is, so what happens in this in our eyes at the back side where retina is there, it affects that due to the high blood sugar level in our body, high glucose level in the body. This affects to the nerves of your retina, and sometimes it is visible to like red eyes also. If the person is having diabetic retinopathy, their nerves is also redly visible to you. Okay, so due to this pressure, the pressure on the walls of retina is also there, which can cause further blood vision or difficulty in seeing normal. Okay, so this is how, this is also one of the complication of diabetes. This is diabetic retinopathy. Further, neuropathy, diabetic neuropathy, which is caused due to diabetes. Neuro, something which is related to nerves. When there is pressure due to this diabetes, when there is pressure in our nerves, this is like neuropathy. You can see this one. Okay, peripheral neuropathy. So this is nephropathy and so when the nerves, our nerves is having due to this pressure, this high pressure of this glucose or high sugar level of the or glucose level in the body, these nerves or neurons, or neurons is something which is related to nerves. Okay, they are getting damaged. This is called as diabetic neuropathy. So it could happen in any part, any nerves of the body. Okay, when it is diabetic nephropathy, nephro word is come from nephron is something which is related to, which is like
Kidney.
building blocks of
Kidney.
yes. So nephron is something which is related to kidney. Okay, so when in the kidney the bunch of the nerves are there, na? When it is affecting those nerves of nephrons and leading to the kidney problem, it is called as diabetic nephropathy. So see, diabetes leading to that much like that many diseases. Okay, then diabetic cardiomyopathy, which is some cardio, something related to heart. So when it is leading to heart or this problem, yes. One thing, 1 second, just Uh, this this leading to heart problem. When high glucose level in the body, again it will affect the cardiac nerves of your heart. Okay, so so what as I told you that you all know that our left ventricle will travel blood to the all whole body. So as in cardiomyopathy, what it will affect more to the left ventricle. Left ventricle may it will damage. Left ventricular damage, yes, we studied yesterday also, na, may it will get affected. This is the main which is traveling everything to the body. So this happens in cardiomyopathy due to this one only. And now macrovascular is something which is peripheral vascular disease. This is nothing but in peripheral region. Okay, peripheral region means your legs and your hands. Okay, and when some blood clots or
Ma'am, how is neuropathy different from peripheral vascular disease?
peripheral vascular disease that I am telling you. So what happens in this in our this normal circulatory system? What is when there is deposition like peripheral one? What happens in this when there is normal like CAD? You can understand CAD. So one there is CAD is for coronary, peripheral is for hands and legs. Deposition of these fatty tissues, all that happening, that cholesterol and all. When this deposition of these fatty deposits or calcium deposition is there, it leads to peripheral vascular disease. Okay. Neuropathy, you are asking?
Difference between that and this, because both of them look very similar
Neuro,
because
because in the neuropathy, in, in neuropathy, there is damage of nerves throughout the whole body. It could happen. Okay, in this there is deposition of the fatty tissues or calcium etc in the walls, which further leads to the narrowing down passage and leads to this. These three are similar. Okay, peripheral and then cardiovascular disease. This is the common term for all the cardiac problems, cardiovascular disease, and then can leads to CAD, coronary artery disease. Due to the deposition, narrowing down of the passage happens. Okay, this peripheral vascular disease is that only. Deposition is happening and which leads to further narrowing down and can cause CAD or atherosclerosis. Okay, understand. Diabetic foot now. Diabetic foot is same as nerves. This neuropathy, it is same as an neuropathy. Nerves of the foot or legs is affecting. That is diabetic neuropathy. Also, there is formation of some mm, s- what we call it, scratch type structure. What is we call that?
what type of structure, ma'am?
Like scratches or something. Wound
Ulcer.
formation. Wound, yes, not exactly ulcer. What like a wound formation or ulcer like structure is formed. Ulcer, we can say exactly, not exactly ulcer, or some open sores. That is ulcer only, huh? Open
Yeah, it's ulcer only, ma'am.
ulcers only. So that when it happens in the when the person have diabetes, na, they also have these symptoms. We can see on their legs, foots also. So again, here also the nerves of the foot is affecting, which further leads for the formation of these cuts and all. So what happens in neuropathy? So in neuropathy, as nerves are affecting, so we will feel numbness in the nerves, or this sensation. We are not able to sense our own parts. Okay, so in if we are not feeling or numbness is there, there could be some cuts on your cuts or on your legs. In feet it shows the symptoms. Okay, because we are not able to feel it. So cuts or ulcer formation or formation of these blisters and all, like that structure in the, and lots of pain in the leg, of course. That is diabetic foot. Hypoglycemia. Okay, what is hyperglycemia? I told you before in starting. One
High
yellow.
blood, high blood sugar.
Okay. Yes. So hyper means high, hypo means low. Okay. So very easy to understand. Hyper is by name itself, we can understand higher. Glycemia is something which is related to sugar, glucose. Okay. Normal. One is this. So this white one in the diagram, it is shown. These white ones are sugar levels. It is very low here. Therefore, it is they show only one, not like that. And here it is very high. So very. So blood glucose level less than this one, your less than 55 mgdl. It is called as hypoglycemia. Hyper, I told you before. Now, causes are drugs, overdose, skipping meals, and all. Because therefore, it is said that for diabetes people, we should go for small, small. Not they should eat lots of at the same time, but small, small meals throughout the whole day. We can give them. Okay, like in divide their meals in the 4 or 5 parts. First fruits, then food, then something. Okay, because fasting is also not good for them. Now, eating less food or late eating, this all can lead for this. Now, excessive physical activities. Because this
Ma'am, is
hypoglycemia,
it the
this is
case
these are
that
for hypoglycemia. These are
ma'am,
for,
one question.
yes, ma'am.
Can I ask?
Yes.
Yeah. So, is it the case that people who are hyperglycemic, who have high blood sugar, tend to get hypoglycemic, or there are two different categories of people?
To it can't happen that if the person have a high blood sugar, they can get to normalize, but I don't think so. It will get to less sugar level.
So, this is a different group of people.
Yes, because this hyperglycemia leads to diabetes, but this is other condition. Therefore, only this I took as a different topic, hyperglycemia. Okay, so these are
I have seen people who have been hyperglycemic, who are diabetes positive, ending up in hypoglycemia.
what
But
you are
I
asking.
don't know whether there is also a separate category of people who only get hypoglycemic.
So you are saying that you have seen the people who have hyperglycemia
Yeah,
first.
because what happens is when they take a medication, after taking a medication for type 2 DM, they do not eat, or they skip their meal. That
Mhm.
is when their sugar level tends to drop,
Mhm. Yes.
and they
Or
become. This happened to one of my colleague. That's
yes,
how I remember.
yes.
um, she went into some kind of coma, and she could not wake up for many hours after this.
Okay. So because ma'am, why it is happening? The condition is normally it is not happening. It is happening due to like intake of drugs or medications. So it is induced na.
She's actually hyperglycemic, ma'am. She
Uh,
was taking pills for
hi,
diabetes mellitus, yes,
yes.
type 2.
So as she is taking pills, those pills are leading for the low glucose level. Na? And
Yeah,
causes
she.
hypoglycemia. Yes, it could be connected. If it is like that, that medication person is taking, definitely it will act on that. But as you
Now,
are
my
saying,
question is specifically for a category of people who are just hypoglycemic. I mean, can people get this also? Like, a lot of people fast, right?
yes, yes,
Lot of people skip their meals,
yes, yes, yes,
but
it could
not
be.
many get into a condition where their
Because
uh,
it is rare.
they
Yes,
lose.
I can understand because it is rare. But yes, it could happen that if they can get a hypoglycemia. Okay, or if you want exactly data, so I will see. Okay, and
Okay.
will you see that your answer? What you have asked the question about hypertension? No, no,
What, ma'am?
that mercury question. You see the answer?
Yeah, I did. I
Okay.
did. Because it's a metal that does not
Yes.
react so much, and it's stable, unlike the
Stable
other
at
metals.
normal environment conditions.
Yeah.
This we studied in school timings. Why mercury only we use in thermometer and all. Okay. So management. Uh, so differently here only for diabetes management is given. Diet also I put because a little different diet for all. We can't commonize them. So proper diet, regular exercise, of course, and normal, okay, regular glucose monitoring, also checkup, okay, foot cares, because you know that what happens, what is the condition which affects the foot, what we call it.
Diabetic foot.
Yes, very good. Stop smoking, drinking alcohol, manage stress levels. Stress is main cause. Again, same. Yes.
One.
Yes, right. And
Go to the previous slide.
yes, ma'am. Because in common, that's why I go fast. I now only see the time. Sorry for that. Last slide, okay.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Now diet is nothing but will not give them, of course, no sweets, complete no sweets. uh, but what happens now, I will just tell you, take 1 minute, that what happens if diabetes people are, we are asking them not to take food, not to take food, what happens, it affects their them psychologically, because they always think that I can't eat, everyone is eating, then again some type of stress it is causing in them. Further, everything is leading to stress, will leads to diabetes. So instead of getting well, they will be psychologically affected. So what we should do, they should not go for this complete sweets and all. We can within the month or 2 month or 3 month, we can give them a little amount. If the all of them are eating 4 sweets, ask them to eat half piece of sweet. That psychologically also they will become healthy for that purpose, that I also, the satisfaction, self satisfaction, okay. So they should avoid, but I will suggest this also, okay. So avoid mangoes on all the food, not only these but other also sweet items like fruits, bananas, etc. Now vegetables, avoid pumpkin, I don't know exactly. Potatoes, high cholesterol, again high carbohydrate, etc. Now this I all even don't know. These pulses have high protein, so it should be taken. Nuts like peanuts, walnut, almonds, fruit juices. Other also diet is there. Not only this, you can go through that also. Okay, brown rice instead of normal rice, milk and yogurt, dahi. Thank you. If any doubt till now, you can ask me. Any problem? Main thing you have to memorize is, I will again repeat, type 1, type 2 diabetes. What exactly diabetes? Three main symptoms, and one more thing, gestational diabetes. Okay. And what is hyperglycemia means? Hypoglycemia is not that much important because it will not come. I've never seen in the exam. Still, if you will know hyperglycemia, you will definitely know hypoglycemia. So hyperglycemia is important. Hyper one. Okay. And normal blood sugar levels also. What are the three tests for the blood sugar levels? This is also fasting, postprandial, and your random one. These hormones are not required as per my subject, but required for different subjects. Okay. Now I am done with this. If any doubts, you can ask. Otherwise, it is too late. We'll end today's session and I will ask question tomorrow. Any doubts?
Yeah, no doubts. At least from me.
Okay. So thank you so much to everyone. Hari Om.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you very